Hey guys, it's your girl Megan James, and you are now tuned into the Hollywood Group Chat. Ooh, look at my hair podcast. Period. And we got a very, very, very special guest today who goes by the name of Baby Blue. Whoa? Or no?
Big Money Blue.
Oh, it's now Big Money Blue. Big Money Blue from the was it 1990s or 2000s? 2000s R&B group Pretty Ricky, which was one of my favorites. I used to know all the songs. I used to be like, I think I was about probably 17 or 18, not supposed to be listening to Grind on Me.
Nah.
Or maybe I was 19 or 20. But I was grown then. Maybe I was like 14.
No.
Yes, but okay. So I like to start off my guests with a game, just so a little icebreaker.
Okay.
So we're going to play a game called First Word That Comes to Mind. So I'm going to give you a word, and the first word that comes to your mind, you just have to say it.
Okay.
Okay. Bad.
Bitch.
Black.
Rolls Royce.
Booty.
Big.
Money.
Big money.
Belly.
Big belly.
Pretty.
Pretty Ricky.
Grind.
Grind on me.
Scam.
Likely.
Jail.
Time.
How.
Much.
Million.
A lot.
Okay. So the first question I have for you, Blue, you go by Blue, right?
Yeah.
Is why?
Why what?
I would like to know why you went from the 2000s, one of the top 2000s R&B groups. Like, what happened there? Why did you guys fall out?
It was just an issue with management back then, and it's like we was young. You know what I'm saying? I was real knowledgeable of the business, but everybody in the group wasn't. So when it came down to the finances and stuff like that, people felt that they should be getting more than what they should be getting.
How old were you guys, actually?
Young, you know what I mean? Like 18, 19.
18, 19?
Yeah, but it's like we started when we was like 13, 14. So I think in this business, a lot of artists, they forget that it's a music business and the record label got to see a profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not just spending their money just to make you famous. Like, they spending their money to see a return on their investment.
So were you guys managed by family? Or, was it mutual friends? Who?
Yeah, my father, you know what I'm saying? We started a record label with him. So it was all, family in-house. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. So out of the people in the group, who did you get along with, the best, and who do you not talk to at all anymore?
Man, shit, I get along with everybody when it's about that money.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? As far as communicating on a day-to-day, that ain't really my thing.
With nobody in the group?
Nah, I'm focused on that bag. If a phone call come in from a promoter or something and they want that nostalgic experience from Pretty Ricky, then we'll give them that. We'll collectively come together and do that. But everybody getting their own bag, doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So
now I'm kind of focused on my Big Money Blue shit.
Okay, so what's Big Money Blue? Explain to us what is Big Money Blue?
It's just my solo efforts. You know what I'm saying? Me putting out music, how I feel, telling my story, my truth. Walking in my truth.
So it's like a rebrand for you.
Yeah, it's just shit. It's my life. I always felt like with Pretty Ricky, I'm kind of stuck in a box with what we could really talk about with the music, because it's really all targeting the females, and it's very sensual music. It's about love making, a lot of metaphors about, sex and stuff like that. So, with my Big Money Blue music, it's more about my lifestyle, the life that I live. You know what I'm saying?
So tell us about your lifestyle and the lifestyle that you live, because I'm very interested.
I mean, they could see it. They could go on my Instagram.
But Instagram be a facade sometimes.
Nah, I live this shit. I live this shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't no. You gotta remember, nigga been famous before Instagram. So,
right.
That lifestyle been done.
Right.
See, my voice still fucked up. When I got shot, and then they had that tube in my throat. So it fucked my vocal cords up to where if I talk too aggressively, too loud, it shut my vocal cord off from being able to really talk. You feel me?
So what other businesses do you have outside of the music business?
I do e-commerce and branding. anybody that want to develop a business online and they want to like build out like an online store or something like that, I do brand building. I do influencer marketing.
Explain that.
So let's say somebody came up with an idea to do a shea butter brand or something like that. I'll sit down with them, figure out, you know, a name that nobody don't have that's available online. I call it online real estate. So that's the domain name, the Instagram name, Facebook name, Pinterest name. We want to make sure that we lock that name down on every platform. So now we have ownership in that name. And then we go from that to filling out a color palette, you know, for the brand and brand identity, building out, you know, what is this brand gonna be about? What does it represent? What's the message that we sending out? And we just build the brand from scratch, all the way from the foundation on up. And once I figure out, you know, the structure and the skeleton of the brand, then I start figuring out what influencers match the brand, which aligns and which is on brand with the product. And I acquire those influencers. I reach out to them, figure out, you know, who can do some influencer marketing for me, figure out what their rates is and what their prices are, get them paid, get them to promote the brand, and then I push it out through the influencers, gain some traction. If I see that the brand is generating a lot of traffic to the online store, then I scale that and I start bringing in the bigger brands and blogs to help market the brand. So I do that.
So it's like a consulting like type
brand,
of firm.
Yeah, brand consulting for sure.
So how many businesses have you consulted in? Like where are they in like their stature of?
Man, I consult a lot of businesses and I can't speak on them. It's like teaching a baby how to ride a bike.
Right.
I'm gonna set you off, put you on training wheels, and push you off. But I give you an example. Like I had this one young lady who wanted a brand, and I built her a business called Fluffy Flip Flops, and I took that business, found the manufacturer for her, built out the logos, helped her get a LLC established, get her EIN, and really have an official business. And then I hired out the influencers for her and had her making $40,000 a week.
So do you take a percentage off these businesses that you consult, or you just charge them like a set price and they go on about their business after you guys
depends.
are done?
Every business is different. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they might not have as much upfront capital, and they might rather me get a percentage to help them build a brand. And then sometimes, you know, they want to keep all the equity in their business, so they'll cash me out. I help build a brand for them, and I teach them how to do the marketing so they can do it by themselves. But like my personal brands do big numbers, you know what I'm saying?
So how long have you been doing this? Were you doing this pre-pandemic, or did you start this business during the pandemic? How long have you been consulting?
Nah, it was crazy, right? So when I first like started transitioning from doing music to creating my other ancillary income from, I felt like every artist needs to know how to make money online because we all have merch, right? You need to sell merch. You need to be able to monetize your brand outside of just social media, right? So I built out an apparel business, and my apparel business I did $140,000 the first month, and then I hired a fulfillment company, brought them in, and then they helped me scale the business because they helped me take my shipping time from being like 2 to 4 weeks to 3 to 5 days.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So with all these businesses that you have helped consult, did you help any of them get a PPP loan?
No.
So this was prior PPP?
Nah. So the thing about the PPP shit is like I got drawn into that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, explain this story. How did you get drawn into it?
To a degree, right? Because it's like it's still niggas doing time about
Because
this shit.
honestly though, like you seem to be very business minded. You know, you're telling me that your businesses are making like 6 figures, you know, within 6
Definitely.
months. So like in my mind, you didn't really need to do that. So
Right.
like how did you get caught up in that?
So I was consulting this football player for a record company. Actually, the record company that Bobby Lights was signed to for Love and Hip Hop.
Okay.
So we did a record. Record went viral. Okay.
What is it called?
I can't remember the name of the record, but it was like his first viral record online, right? So I helped him do that record, and then just continued to help the record company try to blow Bobby up, right? And then Love and Hip Hop took interest in it, so we start filming the storyline of, you know, Bobby working with the record company and me helping Bobby with his career. Obviously, you know, Bobby already in the business. He got ties to other celebs, so he working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like we was creating momentum, and so I'm consulting this record company, and man, I was about to do the Millennium Tour. I just had made, I want to say, $250,000 off of face masks when the COVID-19 first
So
hit.
you really didn't even need this.
No. So when COVID first hit, right? Before COVID hit, I'm hitting my manufacturer. I'm like, yo, I need my inventory. What's up? He's like, oh, I'm gonna get it out to you, Blue. Are you selling masks? I'm like, sell masks for what? He's like, man, there's a virus in China, in Wuhan, China, that's killing everybody. It's airborne. It's almost like AIDS, right? So I say, that shit ain't in America. You know what I'm saying? What's up, my order? So now he like, I'm gonna get it to you. So maybe a month or two later, you feel me? The first outbreak happened in America. So now I hit my manufacturer like, yo, you still got the masks? He like, yeah, I got a whole factory to make masks now. I'm like, oh, give me by the end of the night. I'm gonna have a website up and I'm gonna need you to do drop shipping. He's like, all right, Blue. End of the night come, make the site. I'm like, we're gonna launch at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. come, I run an ad. I think I ran my first ad on maybe Baller Alert. Boom, 30,000 instantly, like in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So I run the first ad, I make 30-something thousand, and then the United States shut my website down. They say you price gouging. So I'm like, what you mean I'm price gouging?
The United States.
The United States. They shut the site down.
How did they find your site out of all these sites that was selling masks?
It say it's a pandemic and you're price gouging
Wow.
during the pandemic. It's against the law, right? So I'm like, they like, you got to show us proof that you're not price gouging. So I'm like, well, Lowe's is selling masks for $26. Home Depot selling masks for like $25, $26. I'm selling masks for like $24, and they can come to my site and get a free mask if they ain't got no money.
Right.
Like if you ain't got no cheese, we'll send you a free mask.
You're not really price gouging. Lowe's and everybody else got around the same amount of prices. You like $1 or $2 more.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, my prices is the same as everybody else on. You know what I'm saying? And on my site they can actually get a free mask.
Yeah.
So, but the difference is I was offering bulk masks. Like you could buy a 50 pack, 100 pack.
Yeah.
So United States got hit off guard with the COVID-19, like what we needed.
Right.
So nobody had masks. All the hospitals ran out of masks. There was no gloves, no hand sanitizer. But I got masks, right? So now I'm running the ads on all the different blogs and with all my influencers, and I run it up. I do like $250,000, and then out of nowhere, Donald Trump say, oh, it's okay, you can go outside as long as you wear a mask. Soon as he said that,
You hit another leg.
No.
Oh.
As soon as he said you can go outside as long as you wear a mask, everybody stopped buying masks. They was like, we can go outside now. So I guess while they was in the comfort of their home, they was buying masks and maybe sneaking outside. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Right? So now Millennium Tour come. So when the Millennium Tour hits, okay, we go and we perform Madison Square Garden, sold out, okay, and then we come home. Like we did like a spot weekend date, like a Friday, Saturday or something like that, like North Carolina, Madison Square Garden, and then we came back home and we was finna go back out on the weekend. So we discussed it. We like, you know what, let's buy some Sprinter vans. Instead of us doing the tour buses, let's just keep it like, let's everybody get a Sprinter so we can like move around in the markets. So I'm at the dealership buying a Sprinter. My phone ring. The dude, one of the execs from the record label calling me. He's like, yo, Blue, what's going on? Immediately, I'm trying to upsell him on the masks. I'm like, yo,
I got these
just
masks.
did $250,000 off these masks. Like, let me make one of your football players or something a hand sanitizer website or some gloves, I say, man, I'm at the dealership right now about to cash out on a Sprinter. He's like, nah, Blue, don't spend your money. He's like, yeah, we could do that. Let's talk about it. But don't spend your money. You can use our money. Now, this is a football agent. They got an agency that fronts the football players money during the offseason.
Right.
So let's say when the season ends and they done ran through their cash, they might need $1 million. The football agency say, hey, here go the $1 million, but you got to give us back 1.2 million, 1.3 million, right? So I'm already understanding this business because I'm consulting the football agency for the football players record label. So I already know how the business structured. So when he say, Blue, you could just do it with us, I'm like, all right, man, cool. I say, you sure? He said, yeah, don't use your money for that. Keep your money, man.
So the agent was the mastermind.
I would get them. So now,
now we only got 45 minutes now.
Yeah, I got you though. So now I'm like, I go home, phone ring, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. He like, you still need that? I said, yeah, run it, man, cool. That was it, 2 minute, not even 2 minutes, like 30 seconds. Hung up the phone. Well, he say, send this over here, send that over there, idea shit. I send it, hang up. I'm thinking 100% they about to do me the loan through the football agency. So now, when the bread hit, I go to my accountant. My accountant's like, what's this $200,000 chunk missing? I said, oh, I gave that to the dude. He did the paperwork, whatever.
So the agent was the mastermind of PPP Loan. You had no idea that it was a PPP loan. You thought you was about to get paid through the agency, like how they do the football players.
I don't know who was the mastermind over there. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I feel
that ain't my business. But at the same time, like that's how I end up in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like me trying to put somebody else on another play. You feel me?
Okay.
And they just drag me into the shit.
So according to my research, it said, I don't know if this is true, so that's why you're here. So it said that you got you were convicted of $426,000 in bank fraud and $408,000 in wire fraud.
700 songs, 1 point something million.
Yeah, total.
Yeah.
So you know how like sometimes like whenever you have like federal crimes, it don't really be that much money, but like they be finding all this other stuff just to pin on you.
Yeah.
How much would you really say that was fraudulent that you actually used?
The problem is with those loans, right? And I try to explain this. Like I use my platform to put out a message to everybody to try to save the people from getting jammed with this shit. Like if you're gonna hustle, then hustle, do it the right way. But this is what to look out for. This is what to worry for, right? They set that loan up for people to get it without educating them properly. You feel me? I got an ABC News special coming out about this shit. They didn't properly educate the masses. They just gave you the ability to get it. So now, when a person is reading the information and it's saying, oh, you can pay a mortgage with this. You can pay your office space rent with this. You can pay your car lease with this. Everybody who got it is thinking that you can do it with that and then the money would be forgiven. But it's some kind of way that they wrote it that it don't matter how you spent that motherfucker. It wasn't for us.
Right.
It was for Fortune 500 companies to get it, and they was getting it. So you'll see, if you go do the research, you'll see a lot of the Fortune 500 companies that got it, but the America don't work like that. They can't just give it to the Fortune 500 companies. They had to make it where everybody can get it, but they didn't educate everybody. So that's why you see so many people getting caught up catching cases about this fucking money.
Okay, so I have a question. At what point did you feel like where did you get caught? How did you get caught? Like, do you think was there like an ongoing investigation?
It wasn't to get caught. It was hire my lawyer and then we just waiting on them to do the indictment because of the paperwork.
Right, but like, don't they have to build a case in order to indict you, right?
To a degree.
Right.
So in my particular case, right, somebody put that paperwork in for me to get it. I didn't do it. Somebody else did it. So when they put the paperwork in, the paperwork was not good paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So the paperwork, hold on, let me say.
Okay.
So the paperwork is what got you indicted.
Got your name indicted. Like put your name in that mix.
Correct.
Okay.
So now, and then on top of that, right? So not only did the paperwork get the indictment, one of the guys, man, just you see the thing about conspiracy charges is they try to take down a group of people at one time. Okay, so they don't necessarily have to have a major crime on this person. They can have a little crime on this person. This person could get caught selling a dime bag. They grab him, threaten him and say, oh, we're gonna give you 10 years in prison. Once they scare him up, they like, we're gonna give you 10 years unless you cooperate. So now this person scared to get 10 years is gonna cooperate, right?
So do you feel like that's what Gunna did?
I don't know what the fuck Gunna did because he got out, he's saying that he didn't. The paperwork is gonna speak for itself. The paperwork is gonna tell you, did he do it or didn't he do it? I don't really know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't really speak on what he did. The streets is saying one thing. Gunna saying one thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I don't really know. All I know is that it's a code of the streets, which is you ain't supposed to say nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
So the paperwork that got you caught up, necessarily nobody like snitched on you. It just so happened that your ID and all that shit was all in there together.
It was a nigga trying to get time off on his charges. So this nigga started trying to do wiretap phone calls on me, like trying to help them gather information. You know what I'm saying? I'm like one of the last niggas that they grabbed for my particular case. You see what I'm saying?
So what confuses me the most is if you you had all this money prior to the PPP money that you received that you had no idea was from PPP. Why are so many people pressed about the Ferrari? Like, why is that such a big deal? Everybody's like, oh, he bought the $96,000 Ferrari. Like, that's where he fucked up. Like,
that's the way they spent it. So the government, they got jobs the way we got jobs. They want headlines the way we want headlines. They want to say, we took down this NFL player, we took down this athlete, we took down this musician, and what's going to sound good on the headline? So they created that headline. Blue got 24 million, bought a Ferrari, whatever. I'm like, man, I've been driving Rolls Royces, and my Rolls Royce the Ferrari was less than 100,000, but my Rolls Royce 300 or something thousand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just how they want to spin it. You know, to get a headline, to gain traction. That's it.
So did you have to pay restitution?
Yeah, I got to pay restitution.
Explain, I don't really know too much about it, so explain what that is and how it works.
Restitution is basically every time I make some bread, they going to get a cut of that.
Automatic?
Nah, I got to give it to them.
Until you pay off the 24 M's?
So I pay off my restitution, my debt, you feel me?
So what is the debt?
It's a debt.
How much is it?
It's a debt, man.
You're not going to tell us how much it is?
Nah, it ain't. That is just, I can't speak on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I understand.
I'm doing it to the best that I can. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay, so when you were going through your indictment, did the feds come and take any of your property, anything that you owned? Like what was taken from you?
Yeah, I can't speak on that.
You can't speak on that either.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you learn how much time did you do? 20 months?
They sentenced me 20 months, and then soon as I walked in the prison door, like any person that go to the feds, you only got to do 85% of your time. They take 15% off RIP, which is incentive for you to have good conduct in prison, right? So that turned my 20 months to 18 months. Then I was eligible for CARES Act, home confinement, and First Step Act, which was Donald Trump First Step Act. So I got that. So I end up only doing a year in prison. You know what I'm saying? And that's only because they caught me with the phone in prison. If they didn't catch me with the phone, I probably would have only had to do about 4 months maybe.
So what state did you go to? What federal prison did you go to? Like in
I
what
was
state?
at Coleman.
Where's that at?
That's North Florida.
North Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could go back and do it all over again, how would you have played it differently? Like, do you feel like, or for people in your position, what would you tell them to do differently? Because honestly, I'm listening to the story and I 75 to 80% believe what you're saying, but the other 20% is not really clicking in my head. Because as a businessman, because you do know about your business. It just doesn't make sense that you didn't like read through like no paperwork on the play. Like,
it happened so fast. See, that's the thing about this business. The thing about this business is your circle should be small. And when you allow someone in your circle, it makes you vulnerable. That's why they tell you keep a small circle. And I just trusted the wrong person.
right.
You see what I'm saying? Anybody in my position that helped people would have been in the same thing. See, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, all the law.
Right.
I don't know how to read contracts like that. I know the music business, but when you're talking about a financial business like that, like a financial incentive that they gave to the people, I don't really know that. No, they made it where nobody know it. So anybody that's out there that's in a position like mine, that where they might feel like them folks might be coming or whatever, like you just got to do your time, take it on the chin like I did. I just went and did my time. And, you know, you asked me what would I change. I don't think that I could change what happened because it happened off me trying to help somebody.
Right.
You know, that's what happens when you're a person who helps other people. It makes you vulnerable, man. You know?
So in your time leading up to you having actually turned yourself in, right?
I turned myself in.
What did you do like the last 3 days or last 5 days before you actually had to turn yourself in?
Before I turned in, shit. I feel like I had dinner at Prime 112 on South Beach with my friends and family. And I end up when I drove up to Coleman or whatever, you know, got some pussy. You feel me?
Period.
Last little hit a pussy. And that's it, man. I chilled out. I wasn't tripping. Like I understood that I'm finna go do this time and get away. Because this business, man, it requires so much of you. You get pulled in every direction.
So when you got out, what did you change about yourself? Like your thought process, like moving forward. What did you?
Well, the thing about prison show you who really fuck with you and who don't. It show you who really there for you and who not. It show you who love you and who don't. It taught me to be more thorough. Taught me to pay attention to my surroundings. I met a lot of raw niggas in prison, nigga that got good character and shit. And I was able to look at everybody on the outside and be like, man, some of y'all niggas flaw. You feel me? So now I move different. My circle super small. And I'm very attentive to detail. I always been that way. But it's like now, you know, I'm on my grind, man. You feel me? You look up, you're going to see me because I'm hustling.
You have kids?
One thing that you learn in that motherfucker is you can't depend on nobody. You feel me? The ones who come through for you, you got to appreciate them. And in life, whether you in prison or not, when somebody hold you down and they with you through your toughest times, you got to appreciate them because they don't owe you nothing. They doing that because they got good character. Those people you got to value and keep close to you. You feel me?
Do you have kids?
I got kids.
Okay.
Another thing, it's so easy for a nigga to get caught up and to have a sense of entitlement and to feel like somebody owe you something. Don't nobody owe you shit, you know? I took care of niggas and couldn't count on them to give me a penny in that motherfucker. They ain't got to. I understand heavy is the head that wear the crown. That's how you got to move when you a boss nigga. So, you know, right now, I'm on my grind. I'm on my big money blue shit. Eventually, I might hit y'all with another Pretty Ricky album, another tour, whatever. We come together, we do that. But right now, I'm focused on what I got going on for me, my future, my kids, my family. You feel me? My brand.
Okay, so let's talk about some fun shit. We done talking about this serious shit.
Okay.
So, what's your type? Like, what type of women do you like?
Type of women? I like intelligent women. Women who are goal-oriented. Women who, you know, can set a task list and complete it. You know, doers, not dreamers. You feel me? I like a woman that's spiritual, that understands herself, somebody who, you know, I don't want to say God-fearing because everybody don't believe in God, but I like it where they have a belief in a higher power, and every day they get up and they make a stride towards being greater than they was the day before. I'm
So,
attracted to that type of woman.
so what are your views on monogamy? Because like we are growing into a society who are less monogamous than how they were back in the day. Like everybody had like an extra girlfriend, or people are living in these open relationships. Like, are you still like a one woman man, or are you like, what's tea?
I mean, I'm a rock star, man. Like, you live that polygamous life when you in this business, and from my take on it, because I did it the biggest you could do it. God damn it, you feel me? I felt personally, it wasn't no substance there. It was like, I'm dealing with multiple women. I got multiple girlfriends. Every different city got a girlfriend. They all love me, or so they say. They tatted, they got their names tatted, their faces tatted, they whatever, right? They branded, right? But when I'm realizing that I can't even give you all of me. Like, I could give you one day out the month, and I'm in a different place. So now I'm like, well, what are you doing those other 29 days of the month? You feel me? And I think at one point, I kind of looked at my father, and I'm like, this nigga, let's say he 50-something, however old this nigga is, right? And I'm like, I don't want to be that age and ain't got a significant other that I can call my own, that I could build a family with.
Right.
Like, it's easy to get caught up in this lifestyle, the sex, the drugs, the hoes, you know what I'm saying? Not that every bitch ain't a hoe, every woman ain't a bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to get caught up in that lifestyle. And after going around the whole world and seeing so many beautiful women, I start being attracted to something more than just looks.
Right.
I need the full package. I need to know that when we get older and the looks fade, what's gonna keep the relationship young and fun? Are you gonna stimulate me mentally? So I'm right now, I'm all for the monogamous relationship that I'm in. I love it to death. My girl's super supportive,
She's very pretty too, by the way.
She's
Very
pretty.
beautiful.
Thank you. Super motivational. Like I said, very spiritual, and we got very similar interests, and we can talk for hours, talk about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as far as like the music game goes, like, who do you feel that, that's kind of new and coming up that actually has a chance to have like a long career?
A long career?
Yeah, because a lot of these artists, in my opinion, are like very TikTok artists. It's like, it's like a one hit or quit, like one album and done. Like, do you see in your opinion, do you feel like any of these newer artists have like some longevity in their career?
Lil Baby, I think, got longevity. Future got longevity. That's what I see right now. And I like Lotto too.
I like Lotto.
I think she got longevity because she can really spit, for real. R&B artists, Summer Walker got longevity.
You forgot Drake. How you gonna forget Drake?
I mean, Drake career is, he talking about retiring down there right now. He done had a full career. I think he's an example of what a successful crossover artist is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as far as your reality TV career, do you feel like it stops at Love and Hip Hop, or do you see yourself doing your own docuseries, or what's up with that?
Nah, I mean, I'm a producer, director, so it's nothing for me to put together my own show. You feel me? I wrote my book in prison, so I'm gonna follow behind that probably with the movie, and then behind that probably with a docuseries. But reality TV wise, when it comes to the network, doing business with them, like I just filmed something with VH1, like a spinoff that they did from Love and Hip Hop. So we still doing business. I'm reality TV material.
So you enjoy it. I honestly love reality TV.
It's a good platform for a brand.
Yeah.
And you even though you can't control 100% of the narrative, you have some sense of involvement and control because it's not scripted. So you can kind of like finesse it a little, you know?
Okay, so the last question I have for you is, like, what would you have told your younger self? Like, 21-year-old Blue. Like, looking back and looking forward, like, what is one thing you would have told yourself to look out for, to watch out for, if you were at that age? Like, if you could tell yourself one thing.
I don't really know. I might have told myself,
Like, how old are you now?
I'm in my 30s.
You're in your 30s. So if you go 10 years back, what would you have wanted to know then that you know now?
Had them hit us with you at that bowling alley when the boys tried to rob you. Feel me? Because they tried, but, you know.
How was that experience? I've had a couple homegirls that like DJ and stuff in LA. They've been and like stripper friends that have been followed home and been robbed. Like, how do you feel?
I mean,
like, did you feel like it was over?
I'm a Miami nigga, man. So I'm born and raised in Miami, man. I roll around with big jewelry and shit all the time, big cars all the time. So for me, that shit was mind blowing because I always felt, you know, for lack of better words, untouchable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm cut from a good cloth. My family real like cemented in the streets. So when it happened, I was shocked. But when you live that life, you understand that at some point they try to touch everybody.
Right.
You feel me? But the experience definitely was like it was exhilarating at the moment when it was happening. You know what I'm saying? And then after it happened, it was like, okay, let's be strong and let's get back right. You know what I'm saying? Let's get your body back right. Let's get back healthy so you can get back on this road and get back to this bag.
Your money. Period.
You know?
So that was the last question. I hope you enjoyed the interview. You guys, we got Baby Blue Woe on the Hollywood Group Chat podcast. Do you have anything coming up that you want to tell the fans where they can follow you? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all about your businesses. What's this throwback jersey business? What's that?
Yeah, so I got a throwback jersey business also. It's throwbackjerseys.com. I do custom apparel. So they might drop a new colorway of sneakers, and I drop custom jerseys that match the colorway of the sneakers that they can go and get and be fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All year long. So that's one of my most popular online e-commerce businesses.
So tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yeah, they can find me on Big Money Blue on Instagram or Baby Blue Woe, bigmoneyblue.com. Before I go, I want to touch on one more thing.
For sure.
Because we talked about me getting shot. That wasn't my first time getting shot, you know. And I got shot at an early age. I was real young. And I think that we got to make an effort to try to change the cycle that's happening in our cities, right? Because they locking our pillars of the community up. They might be hustling, selling dope, or whatever they hustling doing. But they grabbing these fathers, they grabbing these leaders, these husbands, these sons, right, who got kids of their own. They lock them up, they put them in prison. They give them an enhancement for having a firearm on them, telling them that they was protecting the dope with the firearm, right? They call that 924C in prison. So now they charge go from being a 10-year sentence to a 15, 20-year sentence, right? So now you just snatched this man out of the community. You left his kids with no father. So now his kids go to the street to find love. The mama don't have no support system with the father, so now she working 2 jobs. The kids forced to raise themselves. So now they getting raised by the streets. It's a cycle now because once they come up in the streets, they learn to hustle their damn self. They got to keep money in their pocket, food in their mouth, right? And now they end up getting caught up. They make a baby. They go to prison. And it's the same thing over and over again. It's a cycle. So we as adults, right? Because we older now. We're not kids no more. We have to make an effort to do something in our community to get the kids out the street. You feel me? I'm working with these organizations. One is called Reentry One. One is called Geo Group. And they do reentry work with people coming out of prison. And they also do work with the kids before they actually get involved in the streets to go to prison. And it could be something as simple as donating computers to a library or something, so now the kids can go there and learn how to build an e-commerce business. My daughter, right? This fun before we wrap. Side note, right? Personal note. So the other night I'm on the phone with my daughter. It's 4th of July. I'm like, "How was your day?" She was like, "Oh, I'm having fun. I'm popping fireworks." She's like, "Dad, I want you to help me build an online business." She's 10, right? This is a 10-year-old. She's like, "I want a perfume online business." I'm like, "All right, send me 10 names." She's like, "Oh, let me go and Google some French names for the perfume line," and sent me all these French names, right? So what that's telling me is these kids are smarter. They're smarter than we were when we were 10.
Yeah.
When we was 10, we was outside
On a bike.
throwing the football, girls playing hopscotch. You know what I'm saying? But these kids on the computers, they on YouTube, they educated. We need to invest in them to change our future, to change our urban communities and stop this cycle.
Right.
That's all I want to say.
Period. Okay, so y'all, we have reached the end of the Hollywood Group Chat podcast period with Baby Blue Wolf from Pretty Ricky. I was really excited to have you. It was good. We got some good
likewise.
bites. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's a wrap.